Hi all, in this video I'll be discussing tutorial chapter hydroxy compounds question number 9. Alright, so this will be on deducing structures. So when the word deducing is asked in question, please remember that it is not only enough for drawing or stating what compound is it, but you have to mention explanations together with it. Okay, without explanations together with your compound like S, T and U here, there won't be any marks given. Okay, no marks will be provided. And where do you get this explanation? These explanations are basically found in the question itself, okay, along with your answer and reason. All right, so let's see what are the statements that are given. So you are required to deduce the structure of compound S, T, and U for the following observation. So alcohol S, they've already mentioned it's an alcohol, and we can see that does not show. It has got a general formula of C3H8O, don't forget that, and it does not show any changes with Lucas reagent. But when added to acidified potassium permanganate, it forms propanoic acid. So this is a good indication that alcohol X is a primary. Okay, this is a primary alcohol because primary alcohols do not show positive result with Lucas reagent. However, it can undergo oxidation with strong oxidizing agent to form carboxylic acid. Okay, so that's done over there. We can predict S is a primary alcohol with 3 carbon. So don't forget that. Don't just simply draw some primary alcohol. It must be a 3 carbon primary alcohol. Next is alcohol T. Okay, so alcohol T has got a formula of C4H10 and they said it is an optically active molecule. So optically active, we must remember it must have a chiral carbon. Okay, that's the key word there. And positive result with iodine in base. Iodine in base. So base means it is full of hydroxide ion. So iodine in base, basically we are doing iodoform test. So iodoform test and positive result means that alcohol T has got a methyl carbinol group. So how does a methyl carbinol group look like? We have got a OH and a CH3 attached to the alpha carbon, and don't forget there will be a hydrogen as well. Okay, so we sort of have an idea what will alcohol T be. Finally, let's look at alcohol U. 5 carbon, yeah, don't forget that. Okay, don't assume everything is going to be 3 carbon. So here we have got a 3 carbon, 4 carbon and a 5 carbon question. Immediately turns cloudy with Lucas reagent. There's only one type of alcohol that will turn cloudy immediately with Lucas, that is a tertiary alcohol. But it does not show any changes with acidified potassium dichromate, which makes sense because tertiary alcohols cannot be oxidized. So now we are going to deduce all these 3 structures, and for the observations given, for example, they have mentioned Lucas reagent and oxidation with acidified potassium permanganate to form propanoic acid. So we have to include these points as well when we are deducing the structure of S. Without these 2 points mentioned or either one of the points mentioned, you won't get your marks. So make sure we give back whatever that is stated in this statement over here. So let's look at how the answers are constructed. Okay, so here the first thing, mention what we have discovered, whereby S is a primary alcohol, and draw the structure of a primary alcohol. So this will be itlah 1 propanol. Okay, if you want to draw it condensed boleh, you want to draw it expanded boleh, or you want to draw it like semi-condensed and expanded, also fine. All right, you want to draw skeletal is also fine, no problem. So why did we come up with the idea that S is a primary alcohol? So that is basically deducing. Like you mentioned, why did you come up with the idea that S is a primary alcohol because we know that it does not react with Lucas reagent. Can you see? We just repeated back whatever that is mentioned in the question. And it can be oxidized with acidified potassium permanganate to form propanoic acid. So you can also include an equation to emphasize your answer. And as you can see, I did not create any of these statements outside of the question. You take it from the question, but you reword it. If I were to highlight what are the things that we got from the question, Lucas reagent does not react, but in this question does not show any changes with Lucas reagent. So just reword it, does not react with Lucas reagent, but reacts with acidified potassium permanganate. So change it. It's oxidized by acidified potassium permanganate to form propanoic acid. This also you get it from the question. So it is as simple as that. So soalan berkaitan dengan deduce is actually quite simple to answer because you get most of the answers from the question itself. So equation. If you're confident, please include the equation. All right. If not, it's okay because you have already mentioned your explanations here. Now, what about alcohol T? We know it has got a chiral carbon and it gives a positive iodoform, positive result for iodoform test. So alcohol T, again, this would be the structure of it. As I told you, we already predicted alcohol T would have a OH, a CH3, and a H, right? Since it has got 4 carbon, therefore, we need to insert 2 more carbons in front. So that would give us a structure that looks like this. So CH3, okay? So CH3, OH, H, and then CH2, CH3. Okay, this is the structure of T, and it has got a chiral center which gives an optically active molecule. So the keyword that you have to add in extra is mentioning it has got a chiral center. That's why it is an optically active molecule. And since it gives a positive results for iodine in base, which is iodoform, you can mention that. That means it has got a methyl carbinol group. Okay, and the equation is this. Okay, if you can include the equation, that's great. That's really great because it clearly shows you understand. Okay, the reactions that is mentioned in the question. Right, now finally, alcohol U. So C5H12O immediately turns cloudy. We know it is a tertiary alcohol. So draw a tertiary alcohol with 5 carbon. So it will be this over here. Okay, so tertiary alcohol, mention that immediately turns cloudy when reacted with Lucas reagent. As well, cannot be oxidized with acidified potassium dichromate because, because there is no hydrogen atom available on the carbinol carbon of alcohol U. What is the carbinol carbon? The alpha carbon lah. Or you can also mention that there is no hydrogen atom on the carbon containing or holding the OH group, which is the alpha carbon. Okay, and that carbon is known as carbinol carbon. If let's say you forget the word carbinol, you can also mention it in full words, whereby no hydrogen atom is on the carbon containing the OH group, which is the alpha carbon. And that is the equation for your Lucas test. Okay, so please remember this, right? So how do we tackle questions that are deducing? This is how we do it. Must mention reasons. Why did you come up with it? Okay, so deducing questions are basically to test your thinking, your thought process. Like, okay, you said this is primary. How did you actually come up with primary? What's your thought process? Because you know that primary does not show any observation with Lucas, and primary alcohols can be oxidized up till propanide acid. So we want to know that. That's what you have to mention. Okay, right? So I think I have made it very clear. So this is question number 9 in your tutorial chapter hydroxy compounds. That's all for this video. Thank you.